Welcome to Jeffco Stadium on a great Thursday night for high school football. Hi, everybody. I am Eric Christensen. The Arvada West Wildcats trying to bounce back after a very disappointing loss last weekend to the Mullen Mustangs. 24-13, Arvada West suffers its first defeat of the year last weekend. Tonight, they try to bounce back against a pretty good team, the third-ranked Wheat Ridge Farmers in 4A. Joining me tonight is Matt Monahan with the color commentary. And Matt, that loss last week to Mullen not only hurt AU West in the standings, it had a little more pain inflicted.
You're right, that loss last week sent two players home possibly for the season. Star running back Mike Dern out with a broken collarbone, and Chris Chavez, defensive end, could miss the season as well. He suffered a dislocated and broken elbow in the second half. So two key players for the Arvada West Wildcats will be missing from tonight's game, and it really sort of makes this matchup interesting considering that we have a good team in Wheat Ridge coming off a nice win last week, and Arvada West coming off a disappointing loss and two key losses.
Last year, these two teams played early in the year, about the same time of the year, and I can't remember the exact final score, but I think it was 21-0, 28-0, Arvada West won. In between the big plays that Arvada West had in that game was a pretty even game. The Wheat Ridge Farmers, they come from Class 4A, but they're not going to have any pity on the Wildcats tonight.
No, not at all, especially after they came off. They're really looking to move up in the 4A. They beat Centaurus last week, after losing them twice last year, and they've got some injuries of their own, but they're definitely looking to come out here and give A West a nice run.
And Arvada West, you see there in the tunnel, getting jacked up for this game here on Thursday night. We're getting ready for the national anthem, so let's take a time out on the Arvada West High School Network. For a little football on this Thursday night. Eric Christensen and Matt Monahan with you. Welcome back to Jeffco Stadium as the 6th-ranked Arvada West Wildcats in Class 5A get ready to host the Wheat Ridge Farmers from Class 4A. Wheat Ridge, as we mentioned, 2-0 on the season and ranked 3rd in the state. We've got a great matchup here tonight between the two middle linebackers. I know you said you saw Ryan Palmer play last week against Mullen, and he's a pretty good player for A West.
One of the best in the state, if not the best in the state, Eric. Eric Palmer simply dominates the middle of the field on defense, and he makes offenses change their game plan and try to work around him, something that's very difficult to do.
And this year he's doing something a little different. He gets a little playing time on the offensive line for Arvada West as well. Last year he was strictly a one-way player for the majority of the season. This year he's going both ways. For the Wheat Ridge Farmers, if you're going to talk about linebacking, you've got to talk about number 32, J.P. DeZeriga. This guy's averaging about 12 or 13 tackles a game. He, like Palmer, will be playing on Saturday afternoons at the Division I level. Wheat Ridge Farmers are going to kick things off here tonight. Back to receive the kick for Arvada West. Looks like we have Trying to get a couple numbers for you here. Adam Campbell, number 10, a 5'9", 155-pound junior. He's on the right side. And on the left side is Matt Sims, one of the tailbacks Dave Logan will use. That is Campbell taking it at the 15. He comes across a 25 and is tripped up. Making the tackle for the Wheat Ridge Farmers was number 35. On the tackle was Mike Colasar, a 6'2", 210-pound senior.
Well, Eric, I think it's important that Arvada West get off to a good start here on their first drive. Last week they struggled scoring points, and it really looked like they had a hard time establishing any sort of momentum on the offensive side of things. I looked at them to go to Mike Orr with Mike Duran missing this week.
Well, Mike Orr touched the ball, about 22 times against the Mullen Mustangs. He took up the load in replace of Duran. 1st and 10, ball is about at the 27-yard line. Dave Wyatt in the shotgun formation. Mike Orr flanking him on the left. Wyatt, 3-step drop, looking to his left, throws, and that pass is going to be intercepted on the pick. Tyler Peterson, he's brought down immediately, but Wheat Ridge Farmers making a big play here. First pass of the game, and that is not the way you get your confidence back.
No, and I'll tell you what, Clinton Mistor, number 62 on Wheat Ridge, absolutely leveled Dave Wyatt, and he forced him to get rid of the ball faster than he wanted to, and that's the reason that ball was picked, underthrown. And as you said, great play by the defensive back, just running up on it and grabbing the ball.
Well, the Wheat Ridge Farmers have done it all year with defense. Last week they beat Centaurus 14-12. The week before they held Sierra in single digits. So the defense has been getting it done all season long for the Farmers. 1st and 10, ball at the 48. They've got 3 backs in the backfield along with Tyler Peterson. Tyler Peterson trying to run the option. He is corralled and thrown down, making that tackle for the Arvada West Wildcats, number 86. Mike Beer.
Something we're going to see a lot of is Wheat Ridge going with the full backfield. They sent 3 guys back there, and I think you're going to see them run the ball quite a bit today, as that seems to be their game plan. And especially with Tyler Peterson filling in for the injured quarterback Adam Ariano, I think that Wheat Ridge's offense is going to be a little bit more limited than perhaps in the past.
2nd down, call it 11 for the Farmers. A little different look offensively on this set. Hand off to the right side, out across the 45 and down to the 43 goes Steve Scheich, a 5'8", 190-pound senior. Nice run there by Scheich.
Yeah, what you see them do there, Eric, is they spread the 3 backs and then use both of them kind of 2 fullback set. And when the halfback comes up there, he usually gets a couple of good blocks, and on that play he was able to pick up about 6 yards.
2 weeks ago when Arvada West opened the season, they saw this exact same offense or something very similar to it from the Fort Collins Lambkin. So this is an offense that Arvada West has seen recently. It may look a little unconventional to us, but the Arvada West Wildcats are no stranger to it. 3rd down, we'll call it 5 for the Farmers. In motion again is Scheich. He takes it down to about the 41-yard line, but there he is hit and stopped. Ryan Palmer, among others, in on that tackle. Also in on that tackle, John Flora and Jaden McNeely. Yeah,
great defensive line on for Arvada West. They really are able to penetrate the ball, and I think we'll see them kind of take over the line of scrimmage today. Not taking anything away from the Wheat Ridge Farmers. That's just the kind of impressive nature of the Arvada West Wildcats. And I think what you're also seeing here is that with Wheat Ridge packing so many men in the backfield, the Wildcats are kind of able to stack the box and send everybody looking for the run.
Josh Ranson, number 4, back to receive the kick for Arvada West. Eddie Corrigan doing the duties for the Farmers. Low line drive kick. Ranson's going to field it at the 10, scoops it up off the ground, cuts to his right, breaks a tackle, and is finally corralled by a host of Farmers. A 5-yard return by Ranson, and Arvada West will set up shop 1st and 10 at the 15.
So we're going to get our second look at Dave Wyatt here. Last week, Wyatt, pretty good game, although missing a couple of weapons obviously can somehow hamper your statistics a little bit. Wyatt, though, still looking to come back off of that interception he made in the first series. Let's see if he can come back from that.
1st and 10 for Arvada West. Ball at the 15. Caleb Atchison, split left, wearing number 84. He's got the long white sleeves underneath his jersey. And split up right, I believe, is Josh Ranson. Wyatt hands it off to Orr. Orr's got a little running room along the right side, across the 20, out close to the first down marker. We'll call it a pickup of 8 for Orr. And you mentioned that when Mike Dern went down against Mullen, Orr was the guy who kind of picked up the slack, and that's his first carry tonight.
Yeah, we'll probably see a lot more of that this evening, as I mentioned earlier. And really, with Mike Orr in the backfield, you don't lose a whole lot there. I mean, Mike Dern, certainly a great player, but don't take anything away from Mike Orr. He's also very impressive.
Luke Vanola split right, Atchison split left. Huey and Orr behind Wyatt in the backfield. Handoff up the middle to Huey. He is going nowhere, but a host of flags come down on the play. And judging by how quickly they came out of the official's pocket, I guess it's got to be something like a false start.
Yeah, last week against Mullen, the penalties really hurt the Wildcats, and I think Dave Logan in practice this week probably emphasized just making sure that you don't make stupid penalties. That's an instance there where the offense isn't exactly on the same page, something they're going to have to fix if they want to win this ballgame.
So that's going to bring up 2nd and long, so a nice run by Mike Orr, negated by the false start penalty. Not necessarily negated, but after an 8-yard run on first down, they get a penalty on 2nd down. That's going to make it about 2nd and 7 for Arvada West. Ball inside their own 20 at about the 19-yard line. Wyatt under center. We've got movement along the offensive line, and that's going to be another penalty by Arvada West. Joe Shepard, the guilty party on that one.
Frustrating, Eric. That's the only way to really put it. Frustrating, and kind of just, you scratch your head if you're on the sideline. You just think, there's not much you can do except get everybody on the same page, get in the huddle, make sure everybody knows what's going on, and then snap the football.
What will be interesting, I think, tonight is to see how Arvada West reacts coming off a loss. Not only off a loss, but after losing 2 big players, one on defense and one on offense. Who are these guys going to look to make those big plays? They look to Mike Dern. They look to guys like Chris Chavez. Those guys aren't there anymore. Someone else is going to have to pick up the slack. 2nd down again. We'll call it 12. Wyatt, little play fake, rolling to his left. Throws, and that ball one-hops its way into the hands of Caleb Atchison. However, Wyatt was under a little bit of pressure.
Yeah, Wyatt rolling to his off hand, meaning that he had to kind of reach back and throw the ball with his right arm as he was going left. Kind of an unorthodox move for a quarterback to do, and that pass just didn't have the zip on it to get to Atchison, the receiver.
Ranson and Sims checking in for Arvada West, taking a seat at the tight ends, most notably Brian Johnson. 3rd down, 13 for Arvada West. They've got 2 wideouts to the left and 2 to the right. Mike Orr joining Dave Wyatt in the backfield. Wyatt barking out the signals. No safeties on the field right here for Wheat Ridge. Wyatt throws it out in the flat to Orr. Orr has it, drops it, picks it up. It looks like there's no whistle. They're going to say that was a catch and a fumble. Orr eventually brought down at the 10. That is a loss of about 4 yards on the play, and a great defensive play there by Wheat Ridge.
Yeah, it really is, and I thought that was an incomplete pass originally, but I guess the officials made the decision that he did have control of it, did get a couple of feet down and drop the ball. So either way, Arvada West is going to be punting out of their own end zone here. It's going to give Wheat Ridge an opportunity to get some great field position.
Arvada West punting out of its own end zone. No one back to receive the kick for Wheat Ridge. They're going to go for the block. A decent kick under a lot of pressure. The ball bounces across the 40 and is eventually going to be downed at the 48-yard line.
Not a bad idea by Wheat Ridge there. They take a shot, say, hey, let's try to get a couple early points, maybe get a mistake on the snap or something. But punter comes through, and, like I said, still Wheat Ridge is going to have great field position on the Arvada West half of the field. So see if they can get something going. Maybe I look for them to maybe try something with a pass. I'm sort of curious to see how long they're going to stick with this run here.
36-yard punt by Joe DeTiro out of his own end zone against 11 on-rushing Farmers. Not a bad effort by DeTiro. 1st and 10 for the Farmers, their 2nd possession of the night, their 2nd possession in Arvada West territory. Peterson hands it off to Sheik. Sheik spins his way around the left side. Decent pickup, 4 for Sheik. He's got 3 carries for 10 yards so far early in the first quarter.
About 7 minutes remaining here in the first period, and I think that's pretty much the game plan for Wheat Ridge. But, I think if they're more concerned about just playing good defense. If they can play good defense against Arvada West, and I think they're confident they'll score enough points to come out of here with a win.
2nd and 6 for the Farmers. Again, 3 backs including Peterson behind the offensive line, no wide receivers. There's a handoff to Chris Wolf, and he runs over a few tacklers. That's good for a first down. A pickup of 8 for Wolf, and that's the first time we've seen him get the ball tonight.
Yeah, it is. You know, Eric, what's interesting about when they pack that backfield is everybody so close, and you do a quick little fake. You don't know who has the football, and I think that happened to Arvada West. They didn't know who had the ball, and it's sort of like if you're not right up there at the line of scrimmage, it's tough to see who has it. And there you had the guy busting up there for 8 yards for the first down. Against
Fort Collins, I made the comment that against an offense like this, you almost have to play sort of a zone defense. You can't overcommit yourself because there's a lot of misdirection, and you really have to be disciplined. It's almost like playing the option. You got to be disciplined and kind of hold your ground. 1st and 10 for the Farmers. That is the first down of the game. Peterson under center. Little play fake, rolls to his right, has no one open. He's going to either run this one or throw it away. He runs and loses about a yard on the tackle. John Flora, one of the many Arvada West defensive players in on that tackle, also along with Joe Knight.
Yeah, Rob Morella's over there too, Eric. And just as you mentioned, you can't overcommit there. And the Arvada West players, they stayed home on defense, didn't allow Peterson to find anybody downfield, kind of stuck with him and just kind of rode him out.
That brings up 2nd and 11 for the Farmers. Ball just inside Arvada West's 34-yard line. So far here early in the early stages of this game, Wheat Ridge winning the battle of field position. Peterson under center, hands it off to his fullback Wolf. Wolf tackled there by Palmer along with Morellas and Flores. He picks up a couple. We'll give him 2. Brings up 3rd down and long for Wheat Ridge.
The 3rd long situation here. We haven't seen them real successful in the past. I would look for them to maybe try a little out pattern or something. I think what Wheat Ridge is going to have to do is mix up their offense a little bit if they're going to score any points tonight. It seems to be a little too predictable here, and Arvada West is keying in on that.
Well, I'll tell you what, Wheat Ridge isn't going to throw the ball often, but when they do throw it, they'll look to pick up big chunks of yardages. I think in that first game against Sierra, Adam Mariano, the normal starter for the Wheat Ridge Farmers as we have a timeout here on the field, I believe he threw it maybe 7 or 8 times, completed 4 passes, but he had 175 yards in his completion, so they were going for an average of 30, 40 yards per pass.
Well, and when you run the ball so much, you kind of allow yourself to open up for those big pass plays, and when you do make them, you catch the defense off guard, and I think that might be the plan. Maybe they're using it almost as a trick play in a sense.
4:53 remaining here in the first quarter. Our score is 0-0 Arvada West and Wheat Ridge, and this has the makings of a defensive battle, doesn't it? I mean, neither team really is seeing a lot of opening offensively.
A real grudge match, no doubt. And I think it'll really come down to who's just got the better athletes on each team to make a big play happen. That would seem to favor Arvada West with all the great athletes they have on their club. But, Wheat Ridge tends to stick together real well, and we'll see if they can make something happen.
Call it 3rd and 9 for the Farmers. Again, a little different look in that backfield for Wheat Ridge. Peterson under center. Sheik in motion, handoff to Wolf up the middle, and he is hit immediately, going nowhere, making that tackle Joe Knight for the Arvada West Wildcats defense.
Joe Knight all over that one. It's got to bring up about another 4th and 9, I believe it is. Yeah, now they changed the scoreboard. 4th and 9. Brings out a punting situation, I imagine. High school football, as I mentioned last week, a lot of kids don't have the leg to kick those 50-yard field goals, so you got to tend to change your game plan a little bit, and we do see the punter coming out here for Wheat Ridge.
I've only seen one kid in Colorado high school football who went out there consistently kicking 50 yarders, and that was Scott Bentley.
Scott Bentley
from
Overland.
He played for Overland, yeah.
That's right.
Another low punt. This one's angling out of bounds, and that's not a very good kick from where Wheat Ridge had the ball. The referee's stalking up the left sidelines, out across the 20 and out at the 21. So really, that was about a 13-yard punt.
Well, your kickers they're an unpredictable bunch, and you like to get them to angle that ball down in there, and that time he just kind of got off the side of his foot, and it's going to go out the 21-yard line. Still, Wheat Ridge is, like you said, won the battle of field position here, as they've got Arvada West pinned out deep in their own zone again.
1st and 10 for Arvada West. Ball at the 21-yard line. A little bit better field position here for the Wildcats. 2 back split behind Wyatt, looking to his right. Nice strong arm throw caught by Atchison out there at about the 30. His forward progress close to the 31-yard line. We'll give him 9 yards on the reception. That'll bring up second and short.
Yeah, that's a good confidence builder for Mike White. Easy pass. It's a high completion ratio pass as Atchison just runs a nice little out pattern there and able to make the catch. If White can build on those passes, it's really going to allow him to open up the offense a little bit more.
We mentioned Orr picking up the slack for Durham. David Wyatt, the senior quarterback, he's also going to be asked to pick up a little bit of the slack as well. Second and short for Arvada West. Ball just outside their own 30-yard line. Calling for a timeout here on the left side, Luke Vanola, and he gets it. Vanola, the 6', 170-pound senior, apparently saw something in their alignment that wasn't correct for the play that was called, and so Arvada West will expend one of its timeouts. You saw Caleb Atchison make that reception there on that last play for 9 yards. This is a kid who, coming into the first game of the year against Fort Collins, had never played football. He was a soccer player. Somehow Dave apparently had spoken to Caleb and convinced him to come out and play football, and all Atchison did the first time he touched the ball was return it 55 yards for a touchdown. So his high school football career, I would say, got off to a pretty good foot.
Yeah, absolutely. And sometimes when you're staring the face of Dave Logan, one of the great high school boys of all time in Colorado, you tend to have a hard time saying no.
And I wouldn't call him boy, young man. Second and short for the Wildcats. Wyatt's got Huey and Orr behind him. There's a handoff to Orr. He's hit immediately for no gain on the tackle. The man we mentioned in the pregame, J.P. Dzeriga.
J.P. Dzeriga getting started here. We mentioned averaging 12 to 13 tackles a game. That's about his first or second of the game so far tonight. But comes at a big time, and it's going to put Arvada West in a 3rd and 1 situation. And we'll see what they go here. They go with the pass. They bring in number 4, Josh Ranson. He's sort of their receiver extraordinaire. Does a lot of things for them on the offensive side of the ball. See what Dave's got called here.
Against Mullen, I believe Ranson had 2 catches for 23 yards, both those going for touchdowns. So when he got his hands on the ball, he made it count. There's a pitch to Orr on the right side. He gets a great block and a lot of running room out close to midfield. But how about the block there by number 73, Josh Jones, the big tackle, took out 2 guys, and Orr picks up about 14, actually 19 yards on the game.
Yeah, well, Mike Orr does it all for them, and when Mike Dern's out of the lineup, he's going to have to pick up the slack, and he's got some good quickness. Great block, though, as you mentioned, by 73 Jones. He's probably the biggest guy in their line for him, and really scooted down the field well to throw the block there.
Josh Jones, 5'11", 280 pounds. He is a senior for the Arvada West Wildcats. 1st and 10 at midfield. Wyatt back to pass. No pressure, throws to the right side. Nice grab by Atchison. Breaks a tackle at the 40. I told you about his speed. He gets down inside the 20-yard line. Tackled there by Richard Wathen, but we talked about players stepping up and making plays. There, Atchison and Wyatt combined on one.
Yeah, he almost went for the goal. Touchdown, I should say. Yeah, the soccer player making a nice catch there. And this is an example of the momentum I was talking about that Arvada West couldn't seem to generate last week. Now it seems like they've been able to open up the pass and the run a little bit. Wheat Ridge defense a little off balance. They're not sure what to expect.
Arvada West does a great job of turning 5, 10-yard gains into 30 and 40-yard gains. I thought a little of that might be taken away with the injury to Mike Dern and then with Brad Pyatt's graduation, but Caleb Atchison's a guy who can give him a little bit of that same deal. No room running there for Orr as he's hit immediately at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, sort of hesitated. He's got to the hole, and what coaches will tell you, never hesitate when you come to the line of scrimmage. Just bust your way through there. Orr didn't do it, and it's going to go for no gain, 2nd and 10 at the 25-yard line of Wheat Ridge.
When you got guys like J.P. Dzeriga, 6'2", 220, and Jimmy Shefflin, 6'1", 260, staring you at the line of scrimmage, tough to take it in there strong, but nonetheless, you got to take it in there strong and hope for the best. 2nd down, and we'll call it 10. Ball at the Wheat Ridge 25. Wyatt pitches it on the outside to Orr. He tries to get to the corner. He can't, however, as J.P. Dzeriga, we've mentioned his name 3 consecutive times, comes up with a nice tackle, holding Orr to only 5 yards.
Great play there by Oregon, though similar instance when he picked up those 19 yards, just couldn't get around the corner this time. Really taking time off the clock now as this drive has taken us into the quarter. Only about 1:03 to play here.
3rd down and 5 for Arvada West. Ball to Wheat Ridge 20. One back behind Wyatt. That's Orr. Wyatt sends him in motion to the right. Two receivers to the left. Wyatt back to pass. Throws it to Huey. Throws it behind him. Huey is trying to get a block from Orr and to sprint his way out towards the first down marker. Nice design play. Just didn't work how they designed it.
Yeah, it's a good it's a good play. I thought that I wasn't sure that pass was two immediately, but Huey was, I guess, the intended receiver there, and I thought Dave Wyatt was going to call timeout there. I guess not.
No surprise here that Arvada West is going for it on fourth down. They will only punt when absolutely necessary. Dave has an affection for going for it on 4th and 5, or on fourth down here, 4th and 5. We would expect him to go for it. Quick snap by Wyatt, option, pitches to Orr. Orr tries to get to the first down, stopped short. Adam Ariano, playing cornerback on defense for the Wheat Ridge, makes a great open field tackle.
Phenomenal stop. He's the last man there. If he doesn't get him, then the Arvada West player's in the end zone there. So great stop, and really a big momentum boost for Wheat Ridge as their defense clamps down inside the red zone and forces Arvada West to give up the ball.
Ariano, the quarterback and cornerback for Wheat Ridge, he's not playing quarterback tonight. He has a bad hamstring, apparently not severe enough to keep him off the field on defense, but probably giving him just a little bit of a rest. And it speaks volumes about Tyler Peterson, the 6', 190-pound senior. They feel they can get the job done with Tyler. Peterson hands it up the middle to Richard Wath, and that's the first time he's touched the ball for Wheat Ridge. He gains about 2 on the play, and that'll bring up 2nd and 8.
Beautiful night here at Jeffco Stadium in Lakewood, Colorado. It's homecoming for Arvada West.
They got a pretty good crowd out here tonight. A lot of the students with their faces painted. Takes me back to my old high school and college days.
Did they have face paint back then, Eric? I guess so. All right. I'm sorry.
We used crayons and chalk. Another handoff up the gut. This time the fullback Chris Wolf takes it. A short gain on the play. Quick stop. Hit immediately. Ryan Palmer in on the tackle. I believe John Flora may have had a hand in it as well. And the gun blows. We've played 1 quarter of football here at Jeffco Stadium, and we mentioned it before, a defensive standoff. 0-0 after the first quarter. We'll come back with the second quarter. You're listening to Arvada West High School football on the Arvada West High School Network. Welcome back to Jeffco Stadium. Second half underway. Wheat Ridge has it 3rd down. We'll call it about 7 for the Farmers. Peterson, 2-step drop, just airs it out on the right side, and left side I should say, and it's intercepted by Adam Campbell at about his own 48-yard line. Campbell turned on that play and just ran the route for the receiver.
Yeah, that's one of those plays that we talked about earlier. Wheat Ridge will kind of shift things up sometimes, try to go for those long bombs. At that time, Peterson got too much under the ball, and like you said, Campbell just run the route like he was the receiver, made the nice pick, and gives Arvada West the ball at their own 49-yard line.
I was impressed with Campbell when I saw him play early in the season against Fort Collins, and he's earned himself a little more playing time, obviously on special teams with the injury to Durham, but there on a 3rd and long, maybe in on a nickel situation, Campbell made a nice play on the football. 1st and 10 for Arvada West. Ball at the 49-yard line. Wyatt with a 5-step drop, looking to his left, gets hit as he throws. That pass is deflected by Sims. It may have been intended for Atchison. Nonetheless, an incompletion for Wyatt.
Mark Samore busting up the middle there, tattooing Dave Wyatt at the end of that play. And you mentioned Adam Campbell. He's only a junior, so he's got another year left. Could see big things from him in the future.
5'9", 155 pounds. He's got a little bit of a mean streak in him too. I've seen him play a couple times this year, and he's a feisty character. He won't back down from anybody. 2nd and 10 for the Wildcats. 2 receivers split left, back split behind Wyatt. Huey and Sims. Wyatt back to pass, looking left to Sims. Nice catch. Gets a block, breaks a tackle, sidesteps another tackle. Eventually is brought down, but not until I believe he picks up the first down.
Did pick up the first down. Nice bit of running after the catch there. And he'll pick up the yards necessary to give him the first down. Wheat Ridge playing a good defensive scheme there, but Arvada West throwing some high percentage passes that are just sort of quick outs, not allowing the defensive backs to really clamp down on the receivers.
Here in the second quarter, David Wyatt, 4 of 8 for 41 yards. He's completed passes to 3 different receivers tonight. Huey checking out, Ranson checking in. That's Ranson, you see, split right. Atchison split left.
He's all alone. Look for him on the island.
2 backs behind Wyatt. Again, 7-step drop. Wyatt throws to his right. This one's a little behind Sims and goes as an incompletion.
Pass by number 12, Wyatt.
Tell you what, Sims is almost kind of like a third down back. I don't know if I ever thought I'd see a guy be a third down back at the high school level. That's pretty much what he does. He's a running back, doesn't necessarily run the ball a lot, lines up almost more at wide receiver, and just as a guy out of the backfield who catches a lot of passes.
Well, you know, some guys are better suited towards that role, and I mean, and that's the position that he's been playing so far, and he's been doing a good job at it. And as long as he's doing a good job, no reason to change things.
When I was in high school, we didn't have enough players to have role players. Wyatt back to pass, throws to his right. This one is off the hands of Sims again. We mentioned Sims being a favorite target of Wyatt. He was thrown to there again. This is going to bring up third down and long for the Wildcats.
And Josh Ranson checking in, as well as Huey.
Sims comes out. That connection just wasn't working, so he's going to get a little breather. Third down, call it 10, ball at the Wheat Ridge 44, Arvada West. Huey and Orr behind Wyatt. Atchison split left, and I believe that's Ranson on the right. Back to pass under a lot of pressure, and he is sacked.
Flags down, though, at the 34-yard line of Wheat Ridge. Might be some sort of holding or pass interference going on downfield. I have to wait and see what the officials call that.
Brings down quarterback number 12, Wyatt. Penalty marker down.
A couple players in on the sack there for the Wheat Ridge Farmers. Phil Sapinski, one of them, and I believe Tom Plummer may have been in on that sack as well.
Eric Cole was holding on Wheat Ridge, so that's going to save Arvada West. That sack there, real devastating for the Farmers as they looked like they were going to get the ball back. It's going to end up giving Arvada West better field position here.
If that penalty is indeed on the Farmers, that'll be their first of the night and a very costly one, because that would have made it fourth and about 15. Now you're probably going to make it third down, maybe even a first down. Let's see where they're going to spot this penalty from. Should go from the line of scrimmage if it was holding. It does. And it is a 10-yard penalty, so by definition, should be a first down.
Yeah, and that's the type of play. That's the type of penalty that it's almost directly related to points there, because instead of sending Arvada West back and making them kick, now you're almost not assured certainly, but there's definitely a much better chance that Arvada West is going to score some points out of this drive.
First down and 10 for the Wildcats. Ball sitting just inside Wheat Ridge's 30. Wyatt back to pass, airs it out on the right side, has Ranson. Ranson tries to make a one-handed grab. Nice pass by Wyatt. Put it about the only place he could. Ranson just couldn't come down.
No, nothing wrong on either end there. Just good defending by the Wheat Ridge defensive back there, and Ranson laid out for it, took the punishment, got a hand on it, just couldn't hold on.
I talked to Dave Logan earlier in the year, and I asked him, I said, are you going to have as much speed as you had last year? Because last year Arvada West was just tremendously quick with guys like Duran and Pyatt, et cetera. And he said that he thought he might have more speed. And there you saw Ranson kind of kick it into an extra gear as the ball was in the air, almost came down with a nice catch. Second and 10 for the Wildcats. Wyatt looks to his right, throws, finds Atchison. Atchison breaks a tackle and is eventually brought down. In on the tackle, Tom Plummer, the fine defensive end for Wheat Ridge, but not until Atchison picks up about 7.
Yeah, now Wheat Ridge hustling back up the line. Looks like they're going with a no huddle here, trying to catch the Farmers off guard.
Wyatt calling the plays from the shotgun position or in the backfield with him. 2 receivers left, 2 receivers right. Wyatt kicks up the knee, looks to his left, throws, and finds Sims. He breaks a tackle, and a touchdown-saving tackle there on the far left side, I believe by Richard Wathen, as Sims was about a man away from taking that one all the way to the house.
Yeah, he was the only man left there on the defensive side to bring down Sims, and he did. And Arvada West hustling back to the line again.
First and goal, the ball at the Wheat Ridge
And actually, that catch was made, I believe, by Caleb Atchison, not Sims. My fault there. But nonetheless, a first down for Arvada West, their 5th of the game, and the Wildcats threatening to score first in this defensive struggle. Second quarter, Wyatt back to pass, throws off the hands of Ranson, and it's intercepted. Intercepted by Rick Schrickabach, a 5'5", 125-pound senior.
Your pronunciation was good, the interception was better.
Thank you very much.
That's just the old tip ball, the drill there, and good play. I'm not even going to attempt that one, Eric, but I'll just leave that to you. Schrickabach, I think is what you said. Anyway, Schrickabach making the nice catch there, and I don't know if there's some sort of invisible barrier that's blocking the end zones, but nobody can seem to get in to the striped section of the field so far tonight. And it's kind of disappointing for Arvada West, because it looked like they had a nice little drive there.
Nice to see the smallest guy on the field come up with a big play. 5'5", 125-pound senior Rick Schrickabach. Who says small guys can't play football? 1st and 10 for Wheat Ridge. Peterson back to throw, tries to find Wolf sprinting from the slot. That pass hit the ground well short, and another incompletion by Peterson.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, the Arvada West defensive line was nearly in the backfield before Peterson could take 2 steps back. He had to get rid of that ball before his players were even 5 yards out of their stance.
Almost debating Wheat Ridge to throw the ball at this point. I think Rudy Andrade, the defensive coordinator for Arvada West, realizes that Wheat Ridge probably isn't going to be able to sustain much of a drive just by running the football. So I think Arvada West might try to force them to pass it and see if they can create a turnover. 2nd down and 10, Peterson under center. That Schrick in motion. He gets a handoff, hit hard, but breaks through the tackle and picks up about 4 yards on the play. In on that tackle, Shane Marsh, a 5'11", 160-pound sophomore.
ball carrier.
Steve Schrick on the night, 4 carries, 14 yards for the Farmers.
Third down.
Brings up a 3rd down and 5 here, Eric, and interesting to see whether they're going to stick with the run or go with the pass. They line up everybody around the line of scrimmage.
3rd and 5. That Schrick in motion again. There's the pitch to him. He's got a little room on the right side. He is going to be stopped at about the 30-yard line. It's going to depend on the mark to see if he picked up the first down or not.
Number 20, Shike, the ball carrier.
And they're placing the ball just with its nose across the 30-yard line. I think we're going to have to get a measurement. 5 carries, 19 yards for Schrick.
Well, one would assume that if they started the drive from the 20-yard line and the nose of the ball is on the 30, that should be a first down. But we will get the official call here. And it is a first down.
It's a first down. Second one of the game for the Farmers, and a pretty big first down. You sensed Arvada West was starting to gain a little momentum offensively. This is just going to be another 2 or 3 minutes that the offense isn't going to have its hands on the football.
Right, I think Wheat Ridge, wants to go into halftime as close with a deficit or even a lead if they possibly could.
Peterson hands it off to Wolf, I believe. Wolf is hit immediately by Jason Higbee. Higbee, a 5'7", 180-pound senior, actually a linebacker on this team, but due to the injury to Chris Chavez, he's forced to play a little defensive line for these Arvada West Wildcats.
Well, they certainly got the roster to do it, as Arvada West packs seems like they got 200 guys out there on the sidelines. So each player, each position has got good depth for Arvada West, and that's part of the reason they're so successful.
2nd and 9 for the Farmers. Ball just outside their own 30-yard line. Schreich in motion again, gets a handoff to the right side. He's hit immediately. John Flora may have been the first man to hit him. A number of other Wildcats finished up the job, including Jaden McNeely, John Higbee, and Jared Sanchez. Call it a gain of another yard for Schreich.
3rd and 9 now. as we reach the 7.5-minute mark here, the second quarter.
You know, I apologize. I've been butchering Steve's name. I believe it is Steve Scheich. We apologize to Steve. Call it third down and about 8 for the Farmers. We're in the second quarter, about 7 minutes left. Scheich in motion again. Peterson hit immediately, escapes the tackle of Sanchez, throws for Plummer, and that pass is tipped, and a great play by Plummer.
Yeah, Wheat Ridge lucky that ball was not picked off there, as Peterson rolled out to his left, somehow escaping the Arvada West rush. Got the pass off, but incomplete. Brings up the 4th down and 8, and we were just going to have to punt here as they're pinned back inside their own 40-yard line.
Adam Campbell almost had his hands in on another interception. Had one earlier on the last possession. That time it hit him in the midst, but Plummer did a nice job of, after the ball hit him, to actually grab him by the shoulder pads, I believe, and pull him back.
Right there. In that situation, it's almost like the defender and the offensive player just switch positions, switch roles there.
Absolutely. So it's going to bring up 4th and long for Wheat Ridge. They're going to punt. Eddie Corrigan back again. Another low line drive kick, and this could be returnable. Atchison to the 35. Cuts it upfield across the 40. Hit and knocked down at the 41. However, I thought actually the tackler there for Wheat Ridge was slow getting up. Brandon Weakland, a 6'4", 190-pound senior with the nice tackle there.
Yeah, lay it out Atchison pretty well there. There is a flag down, however.
Kind of just was like a kamikaze. Threw his shoulder pad into Atchison's upper body and just knocked him down. It wasn't necessarily a tackle, it was a knockdown.
Penalty is on Arvada West.
Now, does that give Wheat Ridge a first down? Guess it depends on the penalty. It appears as if the Wheat Ridge offense is coming back on the field. Or at least it may force them to repunt it. That's a 10-yard penalty, good for a first down.
I think the call there, Eric, was too many men in the field, I believe.
And is that good for 10 yards then?
I believe that gives you a first down, or if it's a 10-yard penalty and you have less than 10 yards to go, then obviously it will give you a first down, and that seems like that's the situation there, as Arvada West just keeps giving Wheat Ridge chance after chance after chance to take the lead in this game.
3 penalties for the Wildcats for 20 yards tonight. Of course, Wheat Ridge gave our Arvada West a gift in that last drive, and now Wheat Ridge gets a second chance. That's Scheitz again out near the 45-yard line. Pickup of about 2.
Number 20, Scheich, ball carrier, brought down by number 86.
Scheich, 7 carries, 22 yards. He's been the workhorse here tonight for the Farmers. Kind of surprising because Van Voorst had over 100 yards last week against Centaurus. He hasn't touched the ball yet this evening.
Yeah, not any word as to why Van Voorst is not seeing the action or if something is physically wrong with him. Unsure, but at this time you like it Scheich with getting the ball carries.
Van Voorst is in there. He's number 4 on the right side. Scheich in motion again. Hand off to Steve, and Steve takes it across the 45, kind of dances his way out near the 48-yard line.
And I think what we're going to see as this game goes on, Eric, is that Wheat Ridge continuing to run the football here is maybe going to be able to wear down the Arvada West defense, and these plays are going to start breaking into 4, 5, even 6 yards as we get on here. And that, that might be what our Wheat Ridge is trying to accomplish, sort of chip away at the Arvada West defense.
3rd down and 5 for the Farmers. Ball just shy of midfield. That's Van Voorst. He gets the call. Van Voorst out across midfield, and I think he's going to be about a half yard short of the first down.
Yeah, left looks like where the officials are going to spot the ball, about a half yard short. So interesting 4th down here. You're across midfield. I think you got to go for it in this situation if you're Wheat Ridge. I mean, honestly, how many chances are you going to have to strike the end zone against what is probably just a physically better Arvada West defense?
And another opportunity for your offense to keep the football out of the Arvada West offense's hands.
Right. I mean, we've already seen that Arvada West can be dangerous offensively. I think that Coach Lee Coons here has got to, from Wheat Ridge, has got to take that gamble, stack all his men up at the line, and try to punch forward for that half yard.
It's going to be 4th and inches maybe about an inch or two based on the result we get from the referee. And so it's going to bring up 4th and very short for Wheat Ridge. Tyler Peterson in the game, and it looks like the Farmers are going to go for it here on 4th and inches. Big 4th down here, play here for Wheat Ridge and for that A-West defense. Peterson under center. Takes a snap, hands it off to Wolf. He's hit immediately and stopped, and I think he loses yardage.
I don't think he got it, Eric. I think Arvada West penetrated the offensive line of Wheat Ridge there and stuffed them behind the line.
On the bottom of the pile, Joe Knight, and that's a loss of a yard, and the Arvada West defense comes up with a huge play.
That is a huge stop for Arvada West because, as you said, it now puts their offense back in the field, that dangerous offense that we've seen can move up and down the field with consistency. They bring out the chains for the measurement. However, I think this one's going to be even shorter than the last one. It is.
And there you see a jacked up, excited Arvada West defense. Nice 4th down stop there, and they're going to take over at midfield. So actually the Arvada West defense, despite giving up a few first downs, is going to give the ball back to its offense in pretty good field position.
Yeah, that's a huge stop. And let's see if that big stop by the defense can pump up the offense and get them to go downfield and put some points on the board. It becomes frustrating as a player when your oppositions seems to keep stopping you and holding you down. Let's see if Arvada West here can get something going.
1st and 10 ball, 49-yard line. Atchison and Ranson split right. Vanola split left. Wyatt back to pass. Finds Ranson across midfield. Ranson is hit hard by J.P. DeZeriga. That, by my counts, his 4th tackle of the game. Still a pickup of about 7.
Ranson made the catch, sort of did a pirouette, and as he finishes pirouette, he looks and he sees the face mask of DeZeriga about 2 inches from his face.
That's Ranson's first catch of the night. 1 reception, 7 yards. 2nd and 3 for Arvada West. Another no-huddle offense by the Wildcats. Something they put in the playbook for Mullen last week, and they decide to use it a little bit tonight. Sims in motion, playing the position of wide receiver. Wyatt sprints out to his left, has to outrun the Wheat Ridge defense, does, and gets out of bounds short of the 40, maybe a yard short of the 1st down. However, we have a flag.
And I am willing to bet the farm that this is going to be holding on Arvada West.
The flag came about that time and from that position, didn't it? And that's exactly the call.
Luckily, so I still have my farm.
That's another 10-yard penalty by Arvada West. So that's 4 penalties tonight for 30 yards for Dave Logan's squad.
Yeah, this is really the same problem that they had last week with Mullen. And against a Mullen team who is obviously one of the strongest teams in the state, the defending state champions, you think, well, you know, maybe Mullen's good defense is causing Arvada West to make penalties. Wheat Ridge probably not the same caliber team as Mullen here, and yet Arvada West still making the same kind of mistakes.
Could you believe the size of the Mullen Mustangs last week? They were humongous, weren't they?
Jake Anderson, over 300 pounds, phenomenal.
He's one of the top offensive line recruits in the state this year. I know the guys up in Boulder are looking very hard at Mr. Anderson.
Also in Lincoln, too.
Wyatt fumbles it, gets on top of it. That ball was very close to being yet the 3rd turnover of the night for the Wildcats. Wyatt's able to hop on it, though.
Now it's 3rd down and about 15 yards to go for Arvada West. So they're obviously going to be bringing in Ranson, probably Sims, Atchison. Line up 3 receivers here and look to go long. Luke Vanola also going out with Sims on the left-hand side there.
Tell you, both these teams really been plagued by penalties tonight. Penalties have kept both these teams from really giving themselves an ample chance. 3rd down, we'll call it about 14 yards for Arvada West. Wyatt takes a snap, drops back. Here comes the blitz. A little screen pass. There's some running room for Orr. Across midfield, 45, down across the 40. Breaks the tackle, tripped up at the 35-yard line by Richard Wathen, but not until Orr gains about 20 yards on the play.
Yeah, great play by Mike Orr. Shoestring tackle saves him from going all the way to the house there on that one. And that was simply a case where our Wheat Ridge over-penetrated on the rush. Dave Wyatt just sort of screened it out through a little 5-yard pass, and Mike Orr did the rest.
First and 10 for the Wildcats. Ball at Wheat Ridge's 35-yard line. Maybe a momentum booster there for Arvada West. Wyatt, little option to the left side. That's Orr. He's got some running room. Eventually tackled by number 55, Mark Zamora, but not until Orr picks up maybe another 5 yards on the play.
And a Wheat Ridge player is slow to get up on the ground on the opposite side of the field. See if we can get a number on him.
Brought down by number 55, Samora.
I want to say I thought I saw number 20, Steve Scheich, and that's exactly who it is coming off the field, but it looks like it may have been a stinger.
Yeah, it might have been just one of those cases when wind gets knocked out of you, but if it is a big loss, boy, that would really hurt Wheat Ridge. Scheich has been really Wheat Ridge's only offensive weapon here tonight.
That was about a gain of 7 for Orr on that run. He's got 7 carries tonight for 40 yards. He's caught 1 pass for 20. Going back to that screen pass, what a great call by Dave Logan and his offensive staff. They must have realized that Wheat Ridge might come with the blitz. Wheat Ridge did, and they had the perfect play call called for that situation.
Yeah, they set up with nice blocking downfield, which really sprung Orr for about 10 extra yards.
Second down and 3 for Arvada West. Wyatt, just a one-step drop, throws out to his right and has Ranson. Ranson is tackled there by Tyler Peterson, brought down hard, but not until he picks up about 5 on the play and another Arvada West first down.
Another Arvada West first down, stops the clock too while they move the change. 2:09 remaining here in the first half. I know Wheat Ridge desperately wants to get a stop here. If they figure if they can go into halftime tied at 0-0, that's as good as going in with the lead almost.
Our score is 0-0, final stages of the first half, about 2 minutes remaining. Arvada West threatening once again. They've been in this position before. Wyatt throws it out there. Could be another interception, and it is. Adam Ariano gets the pick at about the goal line. Actually, I think it might be marked at the 1, and that's the 3rd interception tonight for Mr. Wyatt.
Boy, I'll tell you what, Wyatt's really throwing up some flutter balls there tonight, and that was just another one of them. I'm not sure who that pass was intended for. It looked like it might have been Atchison there on the left-hand side. However, really, it's got to frustrate you as a player when you see your team drive down the field and then not be able to put any points on the board. We've seen that happen at least 3 times tonight.
Well, they say Ariano made that interception in the end zone, so Wheat Ridge will get the ball at the 20, but that's the second time Wheat Ridge has come up with a pick in its own end zone. An opportunistic defense tonight for the Farmers.
Well, they clamp down in the red zone there, and that's trademark of a good defense.
Handoff to Wolf up the middle. Hard running by Wolf as he carries a host of purple tacklers with him. A pickup of about 6.
About 6, and I think Wheat Ridge will probably just be content to let time run off the clock here as we enter the last 90 seconds of the first half.
I was going to say 1:30 and counting here in the first half, and it's been a defensive struggle. We mentioned that early in the game, and that's exactly what it's been. Neither team has been able to come up with a big play. You get the feeling that the team who makes the big play might win this football game. Peterson hands it off to Wathen. Wathen almost breaks a tackle. Adam Campbell with a shoestring tackle, but not until Wathen picks up about 3 yards on the play. That's going to bring up 3rd and short.
Arvada West going to call timeout now. Eric, as
they want to get their special teams back out on the field.
They
what they want
to
to
see
do.
if they can get one last shot here, and with 1:01 left and second down and I believe it's going to be 3rd down and 4 now. Yeah, it is 3rd down and 1, excuse me. If they can get a stop here, they might be able to get the football back and get another shot at the end zone.
Well, I'll tell you what, from the punting I've seen so far tonight from Eddie Corrigan, I think that's a smart play by Dave Logan and his staff. Corrigan's had a tough time getting the ball elevated and up in the air, not much hang time on his punts. They're from the low line drive variety, and those are the kind that you can return. And with a guy like Caleb Atchison, we've seen his speed before. He's the kind of guy, if he gets a couple blocks, he could take one to the house.
Yeah, he certainly could, and I'm sure Lee Kuntz, Wheat Ridge head coach, certainly wants to pull out the first down here and let time expire, I imagine.
Remember the last time it was 4th and 1, and they ran Wolf up the middle, and he ran into a brick wall and lost a yard. Interesting to see here what they do on 3rd and short. Keep your eyes on number 50 in purple, Ryan Palmer. This is where he likes to excel. Smash mouth, nose-to-nose football. Peterson takes a snap, a little play fake. They're going to pass it, throws it down the field, and overthrows Tom Plummer. Had a man open. Plummer snuck behind the safeties. Peterson just couldn't make the connection.
Peterson jumping up and down. He knew he had the wide open receiver down the field, and he just overthrew him. You said it, the one team that's able to make the big play might win this game. Wheat Ridge almost made that big play right there. And as you mentioned, 4th down and 1 comes up here. I don't know what they're planning on doing here. I think they were going to punt, although it looks like they're going to line up. No, Adam Corrigan now going back to punt.
56 seconds left here in the first half, and actually Adam Campbell drifting back to receive this punt. Caleb Atchison not in here, and Arvada West jumps off sides, I believe, and that's going to give Wheat Ridge a first down, and they'll be able to run out the clock here in the first half.
Yeah, Dave Logan's pacing the sidelines, wondering what might have been if his offense would have been able to get a second chance at getting the ball back here.
5 penalties, 35 yards for Arvada West.
Just an overzealous, over-anxious offensive line there. Really, you just got to be you got to be a smart football player and realize that they're going to give you the ball. Let them give you the ball.
So it brings up 1st and 10 for Wheat Ridge. Ball at the 35-yard line. Do you take another shot at a big play here? 50-some seconds left in the game. I would think Arvada West would be anticipating that you're just going to run out the clock.
I say why not?
And Peterson drops back. The pass tries to elude the pressure provided by Ryan Palmer. Actually, that might have been Rob Morales. I believe it was Morales. And he comes up with a sack.
Rob Morales, haven't said his name too many times tonight, but runs in there and is able to knock down Peterson. Peterson, I thought, was going to be looking to make a pass or looking to possibly go long. Never got a chance to do that. And 28 seconds and counting here.
Morella's a 5'11", 185-pound senior. Again, another member of this defensive line for Arvada West that is undersized, maybe in their stature, but definitely not in their play and their results. Peterson, that pass is tipped in the air. A mad scramble for it. Flora did a smart thing by just running over the receiver, because once the ball is tipped, it's fair game, and nice play there by Flora.
9 seconds now, clock is stopped. 3rd down and 12 here.
And Wheat Ridge is, they've tried to go airborne twice here. They weren't content just to run out the clock. I think they were trying to make a big play before the half and seeing if they could maybe sneak a few points on the board.
Well, that's really the way to do it. I think they were thinking maybe they could catch Dave Logan's squad off guard a little bit, and they almost did in that one instance last series.
They almost threw an interception there for a touchdown, too.
Yeah, they did. That's the risk you take, though, I guess. And
in golf, they call it risk and reward.
9 seconds to go, as we mentioned. 3rd down and 12.
I think they're probably going to keep this one on the ground, don't you?
I wouldn't even be surprised if they took a knee here.
Did you happen to see the Baylor game this weekend? Against I forget, UNLV. They had it 9-10 seconds left in the game. They had a 4 or 5 point lead. There was 10 seconds left in the game. Instead of taking a knee, they ran it. The guy fumbled it.
Yeah.
The guy picked it up and took it 100 yards for a touchdown.
I read that in the newspaper, and I felt so bad because for Kevin Steele, the coach of Baylor, because in the opening game against Boston College, they lost by 1.2 in overtime. They missed an extra point that could have kept it going for them. So
I'll say this for Coach Coons' benefit, since Kevin Steele's an old former Husker assistant, I didn't feel too bad. Of course, I graduated from Colorado. Just poking a little fun at you, Coach Coons. 3rd down, and Wheat Ridge goes back to pass, and Peterson is swarmed over. Morella's Knight, Jaden McNeely, a host of others, Ryan Palmer, all in on the sack, and that's going to be the end of the first half. And we mentioned it was a defensive struggle, and that's exactly what it's been here at the half. Our score 0-0. We'll come back with the second half on the Arvada West High School Network. Welcome back to the Arvada West Wildcat Network. We're here at halftime at Jeffco Stadium. Arvada West and Wheat Ridge in a dogfight. We're scoreless as the second half is all that is left. Eric Christensen and Matt Monahan with you. And Matt, this is a good old-fashioned dogfight between two pretty good friends, huh?
Yeah, a lot of people don't know. Lee Coons, head coach of Wheat Ridge, and Dave Logan, also head coach of Arvada West, one-time schoolmates at Wheat Ridge High School. Dave Logan, then a senior. Lee Coons, a freshman, when the two played together, or went to the same school anyway together. And, of course, Dave went on stardom at CU, then played with Cleveland Browns in the NFL. Lee Coons at Wheat Ridge ended up going to Nebraska and playing with the Chicago Bears. So both of these head coaches with a little bit of NFL experience behind them, and sort of an interesting sidelight to tonight's game. Both of these guys returning sort of to their roots. And
Dave coaching against his old alma mater, and Lee coaching his alma mater.
Right. So, yeah, so interesting there. It's nice to see some of the old-time heroes, I guess, of high school football coming back to teach the kids of today the game that they loved and played so well.
Yeah, old has-beens like Dave and Lee, you know, shedding a little wisdom to the younger kids. No, I'm just kidding, guys.
No.
But I think it is great when you got guys who have played the game at its highest level, you know, and they're willing to come back and spend their time coaching these kids, and I guess giving them whatever wisdom it is that they've gained over the years. You know, I know Steve Foley, a former Denver Bronco. He's an assistant at Regis High School. I'm sure there are tons of others around the area, but it's nice to see guys who played at its highest level, you know, giving back to some of the younger kids and trying to help them with whatever career it is they're trying to go for. Well, we're getting ready to kick it off. Wheat Ridge will get the ball first. Arvada West set to kick it off. There is the kick, and it's a good one, end-over-end high kick, fielded at the 5. Turns it upfield. Richard Wathen has a little bit of running room out close to the 25-yard line. He is tackled there by Seth Gunther, a 6', 170-pound senior for the Wildcats, and Wheat Ridge is going to set up shop at its own 25. Let's run down some first-half stats for you. Total yards, Arvada West dominated, 132 yards to only 39 for Wheat Ridge. Leading the way for Arvada West, Mike Orr, 7 rushes, 40 yards. Caleb Atchison, 4 catches for 57 yards. However, what hurt Arvada West was turnovers. 3 of them. David Wyatt, 9 of 18, not bad, 95 yards, but he threw 3 interceptions, 2 of them in Wheat Ridge's end zone. So opportunistic defense by the Farmers and some crucial mistakes for Arvada West has kept this game close. There on the first play of the second half, Ryan Palmer makes his presence known. He drags down Tyler Peterson for a short loss. We'll call it a loss of 1, 2nd and 11.
Interesting to see here in the second half, Eric, whether or not Wheat Ridge was going to continue with what they did late in the first half, sort of going long on a couple occasions, passing the ball. Not a lot of success. I think that really their bread and butter seems to be the run.
And I think Wheat Ridge probably will keep this ball on the ground here as long as they can in the second half. Second, and actually that's a loss of 2, 2nd and 12. Peterson, much to my dismay, throws a little screen to Wathen. Wathen breaks a tackle, has a little bit of running room. Great support, though, by Rob Morellas. Comes from his defensive line position to make the tackle.
Yeah, that's the speed that we talked about that Dave Logan has in his squad. Rob Morellas coming from his defensive line position, tracking down the receiver and tackling him from behind. That's just some intangibles that you can't really teach. It's just within the player.
And that's what this Arvada West defense is built on. Unlike a lot of other teams who have a lot of strength and bulk, Arvada West has a lot of speed. There you see a defensive lineman showing off his speed and being able to give some help on the defensive perimeter. 3rd down and 5 for the Wheat Ridge Farmers. Sheik in motion, takes a handoff, runs into his own man, and is eventually dragged down, helping out on the tackle. Luke Vanola has him around the ankles, a host of other Wildcats in there, but Vanola the one credited for the tackle, and that's going to force Wheat Ridge into a 4th and 5. I assume they're going to punt.
Right away, Wheat Ridge unable to get a first down, so Corrigan, the punter, will be out again, kicking for about, I think this is going to be his 5th punt tonight, and as we mentioned, not a lot of height or air under his ball, so look for Arvada West to make a nice opportunity here for a return.
Steve Sheik, 9 carries, 26 yards. He has 26 of Wheat Ridge's 44 total yards in offense. Caleb Atchison and Josh Ranson set to return this punt for the Wildcats. We've got a penalty, delay a game on Wheat Ridge, and that's going to be a 5-yard penalty. Is that going to give the ball back to the Farmers? Nope, they're going to be short about 4th and let's call it a half yard. Peterson in there, however, it looks like they're still going to punt as Eddie Corrigan stays in and drifts back to about his 23-yard line.
You got Ranton and Atchison back there for the return for the
Wildcats. It's a lot of speed.
Yeah, it is.
Corrigan almost has it blocked by Jared Sanchez. This ball bounces across the 30 and will be downed at about the 27. So an effective punt by Corrigan, able to down it without the threat of a return, and Arvada West is going to be forced to go 70-some yards for a score.
Yeah, Dave White, interesting to see what his first drive here, the second half, is going to be like. Obviously not a great first half. 3 picks is definitely nothing to really smile about, and I think here in the second half we're going to have to watch whether or not he's going to be a little gun-shy to pass the ball or whether or not he's going to come out firing.
I'll tell you what, needless to say, you can see how this Arvada West offense misses the presence of Mike Duran.
Oh, yeah.
We mentioned it early. We've been a little remiss recently, but you can tell this offense isn't just quite clicking on all cylinders. Don't have the threat of the big play like they had with Mr. Duran. 1st and 10, Wyatt hands it off to Orr. Great blocking. Orr brings it across the 40. That's a first down, a pickup of about 14 yards.
Number 19, Richard Wath, they're dragging down Orr as he busted through the line and through the secondary, picking up, as you mentioned, a healthy gain over the 40-yard line.
I wonder if Dave at halftime, saw those 3 interceptions and said, you know what, let's run it right at them and let's make them stop the run. They did it on that first play. Let's see what transpires here over the next few minutes. Wyatt under center. Going to hand it off to Orr. Orr across the 40 and drag down at about the 43-yard line, a pickup of 2.
You might be right, Eric, because if you look at their first half possessions, the only thing that stopped them from scoring was interceptions. We mentioned 2 interceptions made by Wheat Ridge in the end zone, and you got to think, hey, if they run the football, they probably score in those situations. So, you might be right. Dave might say, hey, listen, let's just get back to basics here and get some points on the board with the run.
Another interesting thing to watch as this second half unfolds, may not unfold here in the third quarter, but definitely in the fourth quarter, is let's see how tired this Wheat Ridge team gets. They've got about 10 guys, maybe that's exaggerating a little bit. They've got a host of guys who play both ways. Arvada West doesn't. Let's see how the stamina factor plays out here in the second half. Wyatt's first throw of the second half, a little long for Atchison. That would have been a tough throw to connect on. So that's going to bring up 3rd down and about 8.
Yeah, you're right. Just looking down the roster here, there's several names, if not about a dozen here, who do play.
Zamora, Suazo, Shefflin, Plummer, Van Vorst, Zaraga, Wolf. I mean, all those guys. Richard Wathen, Tyler Peterson. All those guys play both ways. That's like 8 or 9 guys right there. But I talked to Lee Coons this afternoon, and he told me that this is the best conditioned team in the state. At a recent practice, they ran 32 40-yard sprints. I challenge you, Matt, to run 32 40-yard sprints. Wyatt back to pass, avoids the pressure, eludes 2 or 3 men, but is eventually pushed out of bounds at about the 43-yard line. A nice job by Wyatt there to lose no yards, but he was swarmed over by a very active Wheat Ridge defense.
Yeah, almost had his head taken off there, and I'm surprised he came out of it with his helmet still on his head, able to make up the little bit of yardage and make it back to the line of scrimmage. So it is 4th and 7. Wheat Ridge is going to get the football back here as Arvada West is setting up the punt.
Dare I say, 2 of the best defenses in the state showing off their skills here tonight. Matt Sims calling for a timeout. I wonder if Arvada West is shy a player on the special teams.
Timeout, Arvada West.
So just a night where it seems like a lot of little things going wrong for the Arvada West Wildcats. Just keep shooting themselves in the foot. Every time you think they've gathered some momentum, it seems like something happens to set them back a little bit.
Yeah, it looked like Jason Higbee ran on the field late there. Wasn't sure of the situation, the punting formation there, and he wasn't on the field. That could be a disaster. We talked about a big play. Even the smallest mistake can turn into a big play, and that's what Wheat Ridge is really looking to pounce on.
Well, in a game like this, I mean, it's 0-0. This game very well could be close down the stretch. You don't want to expend your timeouts here in the second half just because you don't have enough men on the field on a punt coverage team. I mean, you may need those timeouts for a 2-minute drive late in the game.
Mental errors, Eric. We talked about it earlier in the broadcast, mental errors.
Richard Wathen back to receive the punt for the Farmers. Totero with the kick. low driving spiral angling towards the sidelines. Wathen picks it up, and that's going to be a short gain of about 1 or 2. In on the tackle, Seth Gunther, punting the ball for Arvada West, Joe DeTiro, a 5'9", 155-pound sophomore. I think Joe was one of the guys out there at midfield during the homecoming ceremonies, too.
Yeah, we did see the homecoming ceremonies. A rich tradition here at Arvada West High School, as every other high school around the nation.
Joe, I guess, the sophomore representative, also doing the punting duties tonight. Mike Duran usually does the punting duties. And speaking of Mr. Duran, he was a homecoming king. So congratulations to Mike.
He had the velvet sort of, I don't even know what to call it, to be quite honest with you.
You know, they used to call Mel Torme, the late Mel Torme, the velvet fog. Wasn't quite what he was wearing, but, you know. Nice defensive play there by the A West Wildcats. A loss of about 2 or 3 for Tyler Peterson. And Peterson has not gained a single yard tonight on any run. He has 6 carries for negative 17 yards. It's been a tough night for the senior quarterback for the Wheat Ridge Farmers.
Tough night for the offense altogether, really, for Wheat Ridge. They really haven't been able to bust open a big play at any point in the game tonight.
3 backs in the backfield behind Peterson. We've got second down and about 13. There's a handoff to Sheik, and he's wrapped up and dragged down by John Flora. Nice tackle there by Flora. His brother actually a walk-on up at CU this fall as well. No gain on the play for Sheik.
51, Jared Sanchez in there also on the tackle for Arvada West. And it brings up a third down and 10 here. And you got to think that they got to try something in the air because the run's not working.
At this point, though, you almost get the feeling you just don't want to commit that crucial turnover.
Right.
You know, I mean, your defense is playing well. They came off on a great series there. If I'm going to throw it, I'm not going to throw anything that's very risky. What I throw is going to be a very conservative pass if I throw it at all. Ryan Palmer threatening the blitz. Actually, that was Jaden McNeely, and there's the interception. Luke Banola, that pass was tipped, and Banola takes it to the house. The big play we've been talking about presents itself in the form of Luke Banola on the A West defense.
Well, we just set it up before the play. I said, hey, we just got to pass the ball. They do that. You said you can't commit that crucial turnover, and they do. Luke Banola just running and making a great kind of ran into the path of the pass there as it sort of floated up towards the wide receiver, caught it and ran it in for the end zone, and makes it 6-0 here as we've played now about 27 minutes of this football game, and that's our first score.
On the field, try to convert the extra point for the Wildcats. Taylor Palin, a 5'7", 125-pound freshman. The snap's good. The kick is up, and the kick just sneaks in the left side. So that makes it Arvada West 7, Wheat Ridge nothing. And you know, Matt, we talked about it. You just thought the team that would come up with the big play in this football game was going to win, and now Arvada West really puts Wheat Ridge in a hole. Wheat Ridge is behind. Wheat Ridge has less than about 50 total yards in offense. They haven't been able to sustain anything against this salty Arvada West defense, and now they're going to be forced to maybe try to open it up a little bit here in the remaining quarter and a half.
Right, something they're not accustomed to, something they don't like to do. And that could be really, I mean, you hate to say it, that might be what breaks Wheat Ridge, but from what we've seen offensively tonight, 7 points definitely looks like it could do it for the Wildcats.
If I were in Vegas, you know, I might lay a little money on that's how this game ends.
7-0? Could be. I can see that happening.
You know, you hate to second guess a coach, but I think at that point, the way my defense was playing, I really think I would have just run maybe a draw, a quarterback draw, something. I would have punted the ball away, put my defense back out on the field, and try to stop Arvada West. Maybe it would have worked, maybe it wouldn't have. We would have never known, but a big-time play by that Arvada West defense and a crucial mistake by the Farmers. However, Richard Wathen trying to get it back on this kickoff return. He takes it well into Arvada West territory inside the Wildcats 40, and right after the Arvada West Wildcats make a big play, back comes Wheat Ridge.
Eric, what game are we watching here? Did they switch teams on us while we were
Are these different players?
Yeah, I'm not sure because we've seen two big plays here by each team. in about the span of 20 seconds here. Great play by Richard Wathen. He turned the corner. No Arvada West defensive players near him. And this is great field position for Wheat Ridge, and you got to think now they got to get something going with the run if they can punch it in and get 7 here.
Well, Wathen is a guy who Lee Coons told me is sort of the big play man for this Wheat Ridge Farmer offense. He scored a couple times already this year. I think in game 1 this year for the Farmers against Sierra, scored on an 80-yard pass, scored on a 15-yard run, scored on an 8-yard run. So this is a guy who, when Wheat Ridge needs a big play, that's the guy they look to. Chris Wolf sidesteps a tackler at the line of scrimmage. That tackler was Ryan Palmer. Dances his way for close to 5 yards. We'll call it 4. Nice little run there by Chris Wolf.
Yeah, Chris Wolf, not a lot of touches here tonight, but the sophomore making the most of his chances. And 5 yards here and there is what Wheat Ridge is really going to be looking for here. I think that they're not going to go to the pass again for some time probably after that interception by Luke Vinola.
8 carries, 21 yards for Wolf. Wolf and Sheik getting most of the load for the Farmers tonight, and that's surprising. Jake Van Vorst and Richard Wathen haven't really touched the ball much on offense. Here's a new ball carrier for the Farmers, number 6. That is Chad Rhodes, takes it down close to the 25-yard line. I think that'll be good enough for a first down. Chad Rhodes, a name we haven't called all night.
No, another sophomore for Wheat Ridge getting the job done there, and that play brings up about they're going to come out and measure this. No, it's going to be a first down for Wheat Ridge. So right away off that long kickoff return, looks like it might have sparked the offense a bit and gets them to move the chains on their first possession.
Well, it's about time for the guys, Tom Plummer, Mark Zamora, Jim Shefflin, Marty Villapando, Dominic Suazo, and Phil Sapinski, along with J.P. DeZarago. That front line, they're going to have to do the job here for this Wheat Ridge Farmer offense. Another handoff right up the gut. Chris Wolf carries it down across the 20. That's close to another 5-yard pickup.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, it's amazing how contagious one big play can be, huh?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I think it sparked both teams, really. I mean, you look at that great play by Vinola, and you got every guy now on the Arvada West sideline standing up, watching the play near the sidelines. You can tell they're pumped up. Wheat Ridge knows that this is their best opportunity of the game so far to get something going.
I think it's critical here if Wheat Ridge wants to stay in this football game. They've got to punch this in for 6.
Oh, absolutely.
Peterson, I believe, hands it off to Wolf. Again, Wolf finds the room very congested. However, I think it's a pickup of about 3 yards.
Yeah, they're going to be about 2 yards short, I want to say. 2-3 yards short of the first down here. So brings up about a third down and 3 possibly, or
10 carries, 29 yards tonight for Wolf. Starting fullback on this Wheat Ridge Farmer football team. Also plays some linebacker, a 5'11", 170-pound sophomore. I think this is a kid we're going to hear a lot from the next 2.5 years. Peterson pitches it out to Wathen. He gets a little bit of a block, some running room across the 10. Nice open field tackle by Adam Campbell. However, Wathen stretches it all the way inside the 5-yard line down to the 4.
Yeah, he did a fantastic job just staying on his feet there. Looked like he stumbled coming around the corner, but great athletic ability as he sort of dove inside the 5-yard line, stops at the 4. And this is really a different Wheat Ridge offensive attack than what we've seen in the past.
Well, Wathen makes a big kickoff return, takes it down inside the 40-yard line of Arvada West, and back-to-back first downs by the Farmers has them in the red zone inside the 5-yard line, 1st and goal. Peterson hands it off to Wolf. Wolf bounces off the initial tackler. Not much running room there. A host of Wildcats in on the defense. I think the player with the first hit was Jared Ulrich, 6', 205-pound junior.
They're going to give him about a yard on that play, so it'll be 2nd and goal from think about the 3-yard line now as we near about the 2.5-minute mark of the third quarter here.
Hey, a big series here for the Arvada West defense. Their backs are against the wall. The defense did its part the last series, and now they've let Wheat Ridge put themselves in a position to get back into this football game. Sounds strange to say when the score is only 7-0, but the way this game's gone, nothing's for certain.
No.
Great penetration there by the Wildcats defense as Wathen's going to come up short.
Yeah, Wathen I don't think got anything there, and brings up a 3rd from inside the 5-yard line. I don't know, do you think pass here? Do you just try to punch it in with the run?
I think I'm going to keep it on the ground. I really do. The last time they threw it, it was disastrous. You don't want to turn it over here.
Right.
If you don't get it here and you still have 4th and goal, 4th and 3, 4th and 4, maybe you consider kicking the field goal. It depends on how comfortable you feel with your field goal kicking team. 3rd and short, 3rd and goal from the 3, pitch to Wathen. Nice play on the outside on the tackle. Shane Marsh, 5'11", 160-pound sophomore, stops Wathen cold in his tracks. That's going to bring up 4th and goal from the 3, and Richard Wathen is limping off the field. Looks like he might have twisted an ankle.
Yeah. Helmet comes off. You can tell he's obviously in some pain now. And 4th down and goal from the 3-yard line. Looks like they're going to go for it. I think that's the right call by Lee Coons here, as really you're not going to get many opportunities against this defense to score a touchdown, and you got to take every advantage that you can get. He's going for it here.
Chris Wolf, the fullback. Kind of in a different offensive set. We've got a flag and might be a false start by Wheat Ridge.
Yeah, and this could change the, Wheat Ridge players clapping their hands as if penalty is on Arvada West.
Well, I don't want to say that's a huge penalty, but a 1.5 yards when you only have 3 yards to go.
Right.
That's a big difference.
Oh, absolutely. 1.5 yards, that's 4 or 5 feet, and down in this area, 4 or 5 feet means the difference between a lot of times getting stuck in the 1-inch line and punching it over the goal line.
Wolf behind Peterson. Sheik on the left corner, Van Vorst on the right. That's Sheik in motion. Pitch to Sheik, gets a block, dives, and he scores! Touchdown for the Farmers, and this game's all knotted up. Well, not necessarily. It's 7-6. Wheat Ridge still has a conversion to go.
Wow, great play by Sheik there. He saw the opening, and he gave up his body, dove for the end zone, dove for the goal line, got in. And I think Wheat Ridge has got to be breathing a sigh of relief here, as they could have been in a situation where they didn't score any points out of this at all. Now they're coming up with the opportunity to tie it here with the extra point.
I don't know how much he made it by, but I bet that penalty was crucial. I don't know if it would have been from the 3-yard line. I don't think he would have made it in. Kick is up and good. Eli Luziato makes good on the extra point attempt, the junior, and our score is 7-7. 34 seconds remaining left here in the 3rd period, and you mentioned it before, Matt. Did these guys go into the locker room and change uniforms? Or first half, nothing going offensively. Here in the 2nd quarter, both teams put up scores.
Absolutely, yeah. And I think it's been Arvada West's strong defensive play, which has really been the difference for them in this game, because you think offensively they haven't scored any points. Luke Vanola, remember, on that interception back in deep in Wheat Ridge's end. And, a big kickoff return from Wheat Ridge, and I think that's the kind of thing they look for. They don't look for maybe that big run. They look for that big sort of play by an individual who's able to spring loose and gain a bunch of yardage to put them in position to score points, and that's what happened there.
So Eli Luziato is going to kick it off for Wheat Ridge. The ball at the 40-yard line. Back to receive the kick, Caleb Atchison and Matt Sims. Again, Atchison, he has the speed to be a game breaker. Sims can carry it too. Luziato puts a foot in it. Pretty decent kick. Drives Atchison all the way back in his end zone. It's a touchback. So Arvada West will have a 1st and goal at their own 20.
Great way to neutralize the Arvada West speed. Don't let them return the ball. And leaving Arvada West at the 20-yard line, your defense has played solidly all night tonight. You got to feel pretty good if you're Wheat Ridge right now that you're firmly, if not in control of this game, you're definitely on an even keel with a very heavily favored and highly ranked Arvada West team.
Gut check time for the Arvada West Wildcat offense. Brian Johnson running onto the field late there for the Wildcats. And let's see if the senior Dave Wyatt can come up and make a few big plays. This is a guy who started a few games last year, made some big plays, very instrumental in last year's win over Mullen. It's been a tough 99 season for him, but he could atone for some of the mistakes he's made this year with a nice big drive here in the early stages of the 4th quarter. Wyatt with a handoff to Sims. He's got some good blocking. Breaks the tackle. We've got a flag. The tackle made there by Tyler Peterson. And I wonder if it's going to be a holding call on Arvada West.
Looks like that's probably what it is. We'll get the official word here in a moment.
And it appears that is indeed going to be the call. Illegal push in the back?
Yeah, that's what I think, or illegal hands to the face. Something of that nature anyway. The penalty, regardless, is on Arvada West, and it's going to push him back 10 yards.
Actually, that might be a penalty that they deduct it from the spot of
I
the penalty.
see. Okay.
So actually, if it's a 10-yard penalty, since it happened at the 21, I guess there'll be a 9-yard penalty. And
Right,
that is indeed the case.
Holding
9 penalties, 46 yards today for the Wildcats.
7-yard line.
Or 7 penalties, I should say, 46 yards. That's going to bring up first and long, about, first and 18 for Arvada West.
Yeah, they got to get all the way to the 30-yard line.
Sims in motion, right to left. DeZariga, number 32, threatening to blitz. He drops back. There's a little option to Orr. Not much going. Pretty good defense there by the Wheat Ridge Farmers in on the tackle. The man on the bottom of the pile.
Yeah, nice job by Wheat Ridge there.
Chris Wolf.
Yeah, they saw that
36.
Arvada West put 3 receivers out, so it looked like they were going to go long there. Pitched the ball out. They stayed at home and made a nice defensive play near this line of scrimmage.
Well, the third quarter is ended. Our score is knotted at 7. Lee Coons and Dave Logan, old friends, old classmates, knotted up in a pretty good high school football game. Defense has reigned so far. 12 minutes remaining. Our score, Wheat Ridge 7, Arvada West 7. Let's take a brief timeout on the Arvada West Wildcat Network.
Must be moved immediately by order of the Lakewood Police. A Toyota Corolla, license GBE 439A. Also a Toyota Camry, license G8Z 1751.
Welcome back to Jeffco Stadium. The beginning of the fourth quarter. Arvada West Wildcats faced with a third down and about 17, or second down and 17. The ball at about their own 14-yard line. That'd make it actually second and 16.
Second down and 17, ball at the 13-yard line.
Dave Wyatt in the shotgun formation. I believe that is Orr on his right. Wyatt drops the snap, picks it up at the goal line, avoids the rush, throws it to Atchison in the right flat. He tries to break a tackle, but is run out of bounds at the 6-yard line. Nice pursuit by the Farmers defense and a crucial mistake by the A West offense.
All in all, lost about 5 yards there on that play as that drops him back to the 6-yard line. But great recovery by Dave Wyatt there. His low snap bounced nearly to the goal line. Wyatt, quick hands though, looks and finds Atchison able to salvage something out of nothing there.
Loss of 7, third and good 21, 22 yards facing Arvada West. If they're going to throw it here, it's going to be risky deep in their own territory. We saw what happened to Wheat Ridge in a similar situation. Wyatt back to pass. He's looking long, throws it long down the right side. That's going to be intercepted, the 4th interception of the game by the Farmers. And guess who? Rick Schickabach, the smallest man on the field with his 2nd pick of the night.
That one didn't come out of Wyatt's hand real strong, and Schickabach just sort of held up his run and stopped and made the catch. There is a penalty flag over by the Wheat Ridge bench. Not sure if it might be some sort of
illegal celebration?
Right, some sort of unsportsmanlike conduct or something. We're going to have to wait the official word from our referee.
We got a face mask penalty on Arvada West. That's going to be 15 or 5. Looks like it's only a 5-yard penalty.
Right, but nevertheless, it gives Wheat Ridge the ball at the 20-yard line, and now they've had 2 possessions inside the red zone here in the 3rd period, or now I should the start of the 4th period in this situation. But anyway, best field position for them all night.
Gut check time for Palmer, Morellas, Knight and company. Hand off to Wolf up the middle. He's got a little bit of running room. J.C. Tyus in on the tackle along with Luke Vanola, but not until Wolf gets about 6 or 7 on the run. You know, you made the point early in the game, and I was going to say, I don't think so, but you said you wondered whether our Wheat Ridge would be able to pound it against the A West defense and tire them out, and I thought just because of the number of players Wheat Ridge has going both ways, that wouldn't be the case. But right now, the Wheat Ridge offense, their offensive line seems to have a little surge of confidence. 2nd and short, 2nd and 4, that's Wolf again, dancing his way close to the first down, pulled back by Rob Morellas and company. But a short pickup of maybe 1 or 2, and that's going to bring up about 3rd and 1.
You know, and a big key here tonight for Wheat Ridge is they have a little fourth quarter experience with close games. Last week they played Centaurus, led 14-0. Allow Centaurus to get 12 points back in the fourth quarter. Centaurus misses a 2-point conversion that could have tied the game. Nevertheless, these kids on Wheat Ridge have been through those gut check situations that you said late in the game when game's on the line, and they've come through with flying colors.
3rd down and 1. Peterson hands it off. That's a first down. Jake Van Voorst gets only about a yard or two, thrown down hard to the ground, but not until Van Voorst picks up a first down.
And I'm sitting here and I'm almost amazed just because I think about the offensive game plan that Wheat Ridge has, the offense that they run, and the firepower and the speed and the great defense that Arvada West has, and you just don't conceivably see how Wheat Ridge could be in this ball game or even about to score a touchdown and be in the lead.
4 turnovers. That'll do it to you. First down and goal, ball just inside the 10 for the Farmers. Full house backfield. That's Wolf, just ducks his head under, picks up a short game, call it 1 or 2 on the play, grabbing his ankles. Ryan Palmer in on that tackle along with Jared Ulrich. 1 yard gain on the play for Wolf. 14 carries, 39 yards for Wolf. Not great numbers, but in a game that's been dominated by defense, he's run hard, especially here in the second half. 9:37 remaining in the fourth quarter. Farmers threatening to take the lead for the first time tonight. Peterson under center, pitches it out to Wathen. Wathen can't beat the outside containment of Shane Marsh. We've called his name 2 or 3 times. Marsh, only a sophomore for Dave Logan's team, really playing a fine ball game here tonight.
Yeah, one of their best defenders. Got to be here for a couple more years, making big plays like that. And it brings up an interesting 3rd and 8 now situation. I think if you're Wheat Ridge,
run it.
Run it, exactly. I was just going to say run it. I've been saying pass the ball, but I find that you won me over, Eric. I'm going to say run the football here.
You know, I win most people over. I'm persistent. I'll keep plugging away. Eli Luziato, he is the place kicker for the Farmers. I think this is going to come down to his foot here on this drive. There's a fake pitch. Ryan Palmer not buying the fake as he stops Chris Wolf cold in his tracks and no gain on the play. We've called Palmer's names a couple times, and the Arvada West defense comes up with a big play. They're going to force a 4th down, and I believe that's going to force a field goal attempt by the Farmers.
Yeah, huge field goal attempt here by Eli Luziato. Pardon me there.
That's all right. Hey, I butchered Steve's name a bunch of times in the first half. Steve Scheck, I'm sorry for that. You've played a fine game, 11 carries, 28 yards, and you've scored your team's only touchdown. Luziato setting up for what would be a 30-yard field goal. This is a big play in this game. Kick is up, and it's right down the pipe. A big 30-yard field goal by Eli Luziato, and you can definitely say that momentum is on the side of the Farmers. This game's going to come down to the shoulders of David Wyatt. He's got to forget those 4 interceptions.
Yeah.
Hey, they're in the past. They've happened. You can't do anything about it. All you can do is take care of the now, and he needs to come up with some big plays and lead his team.
Brad, we have just under 8 minutes here remaining in the ball game, and you're only down by 3 points. I want to see Mike Orr get the ball more. He played a lot, got a lot of action, a lot of touches against Mullen. I think this kid's somebody who can really spark their offense. Hasn't been used quite as much as I thought he would tonight. But as you mentioned, David Wyatt is really the guy who's going to be carrying the weight of this pressure on his shoulders.
He's a senior. He's played varsity for 2 years. The quarterback oftentimes in situations like this is the guy your offensive teammates look up to. And David needs to put those 4 interceptions, like I said, you just need to forget about them. They happen. You can't do anything about it. I remember a game in Nebraska, Eric Bieniemy, 4 fumbles in Lincoln in the first 3 quarters. Forgot about it, came back, and I think he scored, I want to say he scored 2, 3, maybe even 4 touchdowns in the fourth quarter. Colorado won 27-12. Got to have a short memory if you're an athlete, that's for sure. Luziato set to put his foot in it again. There's the kick, a low squibber. This kick goes across the 30 and out of bounds, across the 20, I should say. Out of bounds at about the 17-yard line.
It's going to give him the football.
It's going to give the football 35, right?
Yeah, 35 or 40. I'm not sure, one or the other. Anyway, though, not a great kick by Luziato. He's kicked the ball at the end zone once tonight. Not sure why he didn't do it there.
Yeah, I don't know why I didn't kick it out of the end zone unless they'd just rather take their chances by giving Arvada West football 35.
Right.
Instead of giving a guy like Ransom or I guess it was Sims and Atchison, the two guys deep for Arvada West. And we've mentioned Atchison's name a couple times. He's got 5 catches for 50 yards. He has really the only big offensive play of the night for the Wildcats at 25-yard reception. 1st and 10 for Arvada West. We've got 7:58 remaining in the game. They trail it 10-7. Wyatt under center, Huey and Orr in the backfield. And I think we've got movement by Jim Shefflin on the defensive line for Wheat Ridge. However, Wheat Ridge is pointing, saying Arvada West move. Let's see what the men in the stripes saw. And I believe the penalty is going to go against the Wheat Ridge Farmers. So that's going to make it 1st and 5 for Arvada West, 40.
Yeah, you don't want to give them any extra help.
Only the 2nd penalty tonight by Wheat Ridge.
Fairly clean game played by them, no doubt.
They needed to play one of those, quote, perfect, end of quote, games to get a win here tonight. They've done a good job, stuck to their game plan. That's Orr getting gathered up at the line of scrimmage. There's a fumble, and Wheat Ridge says they have it, but wait, there is a flag on the play.
There is a flag on the play. The officials have given Wheat Ridge the ball, but let's check what the flag is.
Jimmy Shefflin and a host of Farmers there on the tackle. A big hit on Orr at the line of scrimmage. He coughed it up, and it looks like the play is going to stand.
Yeah, it's holding. It's holding on Arvada West. They're going to, Wheat Ridge smartly, wisely declines that penalty. Is going to get the football. And I was mentioning earlier in the 3rd quarter that Wheat Ridge might have had their back broken by that interception by Luke Vanola.
I'll tell you what, it kind of lit a fire under the Farmers, didn't it? Wathen gave them about a 50-yard kickoff return deep into Arvada West territory. The offense did the job from there, taking it in for a score. And then the defense has come up big in the last 2 series. 1st and 10, ball inside Arvada West 40-yard line at the 37. That's Chris Wolf on the handoff. He's hit immediately by Ryan Palmer. Ryan Palmer starting to assert himself here in the 4th quarter. He's got a handful of tackles and a very short game by Wolf. Call it a gain of 1.
And now is when Wheat Ridge's running the football really kicks into gear because they're going to watch the clock slowly run down.
And even if they don't score here, odds are they're going to pin A-West back.
Yeah.
A-West is going to be forced to go about, I'm going to say, at least 80 yards for a touchdown to win the game, maybe 60 yards for a chance at a field goal. There's Sheck on that little move we've seen so far. Running hard, churning. That's a 1st down. He's got the outside across the 20 and brought down at about the 16-yard line.
Look at the little guy go out there. Little number 20 scampers down to the 16-yard line. Didn't stay in bounds, but I don't think you really care if you're Lee Coons. You just like to see your guy get a big run like that.
Arvada West had a chance to stop him for about a 3, 4, 5-yard tame, but Sheck kept those legs churning, ran through an arm tackle, and was able to pick up 20 on the play. 12 carries, 48 yards for Steve Sheck.
Right, really credit Lee Coons, the coach of Wheat Ridge, to really sticking with his game plan. I wasn't sure. I thought that he should have changed things up early in the 3rd quarter when things weren't going well, but he stuck with it, and give him credit, his guys are now really pulling through.
If they continue to play like they have so far tonight, and if Wheat Ridge comes out on top, I'll sleep a little easier after that 3rd down and passing call. And right now, momentum is with the Farmers. That offensive line doing a great job. They're opening up holes. Chris Rhodes on the carry there, and that's a pickup of about 7 yards for Rhodes. He's got 2 carries for 13 yards, and slowly and surely the total yardage and the momentum of this game has really shifted over to the Wheat Ridge side.
2nd down and 3.
Arvada West defense may be getting a little tired. They've been on the field an awful lot here in the 2nd half. 2nd down and 3. Peterson under center. Sheck in motion again. Peterson's going to follow his blockers. Actually hands it off up the middle.
Number 20.
Close to a 1st down marker there.
Sheck had the ball in the carry, and he picks up about a yard, so we're going to call it 3rd and short inside the Arvada West 10. Ball's at about the 9-yard line.
3rd down and 1.
Clock now nearing 5 minutes and 30 seconds remaining here in the ball game.
You know, hey, if the Arvada West defense can hold them here to another field goal attempt, well, that will force Arvada West to score a touchdown. They're still only one play out of the game, one play away from being in the lead. This defense can hold here to a field goal attempt, be an awful big play. There's a handoff to Rhodes. He is stuffed. Jared Sanchez, Ryan Palmer. I think John Flora may have been on that play along with Rob Morella's. A loss of about 2. So that's going to bring up another field goal attempt.
Field goal attempt. Eli Luziato coming on for his second attempt of the night. First one, great kick, right down the pipe.
This one's going to be a 27-yarder. Again, this will force Arvada West to score a touchdown to win this football game. However, that's still just one play, one possession.
But it's not automatic. I mean, their offense tonight really hasn't shown the ability to do that.
Sometimes you wonder just, is that kick good?
Yeah, it's good.
Just sneaks it in the corner. Luziato with a big kick, 2 big field goals here in the fourth quarter by Eli. It's a 6-point lead. Your point's well taken. Hey, Arvada West hasn't shown any inclination to put the ball in the end zone tonight. I've seen this team often, though. This is a team that's been built on big plays. I know Mike Duran's injured. They still got guys like Josh Ranson, Caleb Atchison, Mike Orr. Those guys are capable of making a big play. But they haven't done it yet. Wheat Ridge has done a wonderful job defensively, an effort spearheaded by J.P. DeZaraga, who's had a great game at his middle linebacker spot. This Wheat Ridge defense has been very tough tonight.
Just what impresses me so much, Eric, is the way they play as a team. I mean, you know, it seems like when we mention tackles for Wheat Ridge, we don't just mention one player's name. It's always several players, and that's really the way they play. They play as a gang, as a team, and that's really what's keeping them in this game. And, you know, there's reason why they're the third-ranked team in 4A football here. It's because they play so together, and really you can tell these guys count on one another, and they stick to their game plan.
Well, Dave Logan has spent a lot of his life in and around football. All the knowledge he's acquired, he's going to have to put to paper right now. He needs to come up with something here because his offense has been stymied here in the second half. I don't know if they've run more than 7 or 8 plays. Low line drive kick fielded by Sims at the 5. He's got a little bit of running room, and he breaks it open. He's got some running room out across the 50, 40, 30, 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Matt Sims. Holy cow.
Oh,
no
wow.
flags.
No flags, and that's just, we talked about the game-breaking speed and ability of the Arvada West players, and it shows right there, I'll tell you what. And their sideline is absolutely jacked up.
Need I remind you that right now, the score is 13-13. We still have an extra point. On the field, kicking the extra point for Arvada West. Actually, there's a timeout on the Arvada West sidelines. But on the field, getting ready to attempt this extra point, Kristen Hammond, straight out of the mold of Katie Nida. You've all heard about Katie Nida, a young lady who is on the CU football team as a walk-on kicker. Well, I guess you could say Kristen Hammond is her equivalent at the high school level. Dave Logan rotates about 3 players at the place kicking duties, and I guess it's Kristen Hammond's turn, and the young woman is going to get a chance to put the winning points on board in this football game. Actually, Kristen is not going to get. She is out there on the field. She has come off, and Taylor Palin is going to kick. Palin's the guy who did the chores the last time. Arvada West with a little offset position here on this field goal attempt. I was really hoping Kristen would get a chance to kick that ball because that would have been a great story. Actually, it's not Taylor Palin who's going to be kicking the extra point.
I think it is.
Thomas Valenta kicks up and right down the heart. Thomas Valenta with the extra point, and it's 14-13, 4:15 remaining. Wow.
Great football game we have here.
And who would have thunk it after the first half?
No
the first
kidding.
half kind of like, boy, I'm just waiting for something to happen.
No kidding.
27 points here on the board in the second half, and Arvada West, hey, the offense hasn't done anything really this afternoon. It's been the defense and the special teams. They've made 2 big plays, and they lead by 1.
You know, and you don't get the sense that this game's over yet. You sense that there's still something else is going to happen.
Well, you remember Wheat Ridge's only touchdown came after a pretty nice kickoff return by Richard Wathen. Wathen, the last time I saw him, was limping off the field with a bum ankle. However, he is back here to receive this kick, standing at about his own 5. Wheat Ridge fans, as you see on your monitor, very excited about the recent turn of events, and why not? Matt Sims comes up with a game-breaking play when the Wildcats desperately were in need of one. Thomas Valenta kicking this ball off for the Wildcats. A short kick, lands right in Richard Wathen's hands. He's across the 20, 25, and stopped short of the 30. Adam Campbell, the 5'9", 155-pound junior, with a nice special teams tackle there, and that's going to force this Wheat Ridge offense to put together quite a drive.
Yeah, it certainly is, and something they've been able to do in the last couple of possessions, move the football down the field. I got to stay sick with the run here. That's been working for you. You got 4 minutes left. You know, maybe you drive it down there, give your field goal kicker who's had a nice night tonight, give him a chance to win the game.
I'll tell you what, though, I have the feeling that Wheat Ridge is going to have to get something in the air on this drive if they're going to have a chance at a game-winning field goal. I don't think they can run it 50, 60 yards against this A-West defense. Peterson sacked at the 25. Jared Sanchez and Joe Knight in on that sack. And a huge defensive play by the Wildcats.
Yeah, you said pass, and that's exactly what Peterson rolled out to do, but didn't get the blocking up front that he needed. Rob Morellas also in there on the sack.
You know, you hate to second guess a high school kid playing quarterback, but I think that's a case where you just got to throw it away.
Yeah.
You can't take a 10-yard loss in that situation. So it brings up 2nd down and 20, and right now this game is in the hands of the Arvada West Wildcats defense. They came up big with a huge play there. Here the handoff is to Chris Rhodes, and he is swarmed over Luke Vanola along, I believe, with Jason Higbee on the tackle. And 2 consecutive plays, and Wheat Ridge has lost 20 yards.
You're going to have about a 3rd down and 30 here now for Wheat Ridge. And it's almost a shame because I don't really think they deserve to lose this game. I mean, if it comes down to that, they've played well enough, and I think that they've played up to their capabilities to win here tonight. I just think that they got beat on a fantastic athletic play by Matt Sims and a great defensive play by Luke Vanola.
You know what? Last year's game, and I wish I could remember the final score. I think it was 21-0, 28-0. I mentioned this early in the first half. It wasn't that these two teams, that Arvada West just was head and shoulders better than Wheat Ridge last year. It was just Arvada West made like 3 or 4 big plays where their speed really made a difference, and that somewhat has been the case tonight. While Wheat Ridge, I think, maybe has played a better offensive and defensive game as far as a total package. Hey, give credit to guys like Luke Vanola and Matt Sims. They made big plays when their team was in desperate need of them, and those big plays have been the difference.
Right.
And that's how Dave Logan's team's done it for years.
They step up. They step up when they need it, and that's the true mark of great players, is when they can find that whatever it is within them to step up and make a huge play.
Intestinal fortitude? Yeah, maybe. 3rd down, and we'll call it about 28 yards for the Wheat Ridge Farmers. This could be this game on the line. A mad blitz. Ariano airs it out. That pass intercepted by Adam Campbell. He's got a little bit of running room, and he's got a lot of running room. We've got a few flags on the play, probably a Kip Campbell with a nice run inside the 20, 15, and he's swarmed over at the 15-yard line. And that, folks, I think is the ball game. Rob Morell is walking off the field with his hands above his head. That A-West defense struggled there in the 3rd and early stages of the 4th quarter, but they made the plays when they needed to keep this team in the game and eventually win this game for this football team.
Right, and you know, it's one of those wins that you just sort of win on athletic ability, and I don't think Dave Logan after the game is going to be real impressed with the way his team won the game. I mean, obviously you realize your offense has done nothing. Your offense has scored no points tonight. It's been special teams and defense, but a win's a win and you take it.
Absolutely. He's not going to give it back, no matter how good of friends he and Lee are. There was a clip on that interception return by Adam Campbell. We've mentioned his name often tonight. He's playing a lot in the absence of Drew Cisneros. Cisneros turned his ankle in that game against Mullen. 5'9", 165-pound senior. That's opened the door for Adam Campbell. I believe that's his second interception of the night.
That's right,
Adam
yes.
Campbell has played a very fine ball game here for this A-West defense this evening.
Absolutely.
So call it 1st and 10 for the Wildcats. They have the ball in Wheat Ridge territory. Ball just outside the 41-yard line, actually at the 42. Eye set behind Wyatt, Huey and Orr. Wyatt hands it off to Orr. Orr bangs his way across the 40 down to about the 39-yard line. I think he runs into J.P. DeZaraga, and a nice tackle there by DeZaraga. Nonetheless, 3 yards for Orr.
Time ticking away now. 2:25 and counting now for Arvada West. Is they will most certainly, well, actually now Wheat Ridge has called a timeout, which I think is a smart play. They got to stop the clock here and see if they can somehow get the ball back with any sort of time remaining to make a last-ditch effort to pull this one out.
You made a good point, though. I don't know how happy Coach Logan's going to be with his team's performance. I think he's going to be happy that at gut check time they were able to come out with a few big plays. But with the Jeffco League play looming, a bunch of tough 5A opponents, Oberlin a very good team, Bear Creek a good team, Columbine is loaded this year, and Columbine's a team that beat Arvada West last year. Arvada, Pomona, they're going to need to play, I think, much better than they did tonight if they hope to get through that Jeffco League.
Yeah, it's not an easy league, Jeffco League, not by a long shot.
Wyatt with the handoff to Orr. Orr trying to break a tackle. He is eventually swarmed over and tackled for a short gain. We'll give him one. 13 carries, 59 yards for Orr, but right now Arvada West just trying not to turn it over and trying to run that clock a little.
Another timeout taken by Wheat Ridge, stopping the clock at 2 minutes and 15 seconds. And it'll be a 3rd down and 7, or actually about a 3rd down and 5, I should say, for Arvada West coming up here. And you're right, there are no easy wins in the Jeffco League. I mean, all these teams really are capable of beating one another on any given night for the most part. And, and we've seen it here tonight. I mean, honestly, Arvada West probably a much better football team, or probably a much deeper football team is probably a better accurate word to say about them than Wheat Ridge. But, Wheat Ridge putting up a tough battle here.
Guys like Orr and Atchison and Ranson and Campbell, guys getting a little more playing time due to those injuries. Hey, they've stepped up and made some big plays for this football team. Maybe not as many as Arvada West was accustomed to making when some of their key players were healthy, but still a number of plays. We've got a flag and a pitch. Orr is trying to get a first down. He has the first down. Nice tackle by DeZaraga, but there is a flag, I believe, on the play. Was there a flag?
Yeah, there was a flag, and it's going to stop the clock, too, which is even bigger.
We've got a false start on Arvada West, and you're exactly right. 9 penalties, 56 yards tonight for the Wildcats.
So now instead of
that
having
negates a first down.
Right, it negates a first down. So now you got about that's going to bring up a 3rd down and about, I want to say 10. Say move the football
just about
back.
3rd and 9, 3rd and 10, pretty
Yeah.
close. And the clock is stopped, so a break there for the Farmers.
Absolutely.
2:08 remaining, and they come up with a 3rd down stop here, get the ball back. They got a shot.
They got a shot. I don't think they have any more timeouts, so I'm not sure they're going to be able to stop the ball here after this play. Should they stop them, Arvada West from getting a first down, but they'll definitely have about a minute remaining on the clock to do something with.
Huey and Orr split behind Wyatt in the backfield. Wyatt's going to call a timeout.
See, you don't like to do that because now you just stop the clock. They restarted it after they placed the ball, and now they stopped it again. So
I'll tell you what, though, at this situation, Arvada West has already committed 4 turnovers. You definitely don't want to commit another one.
make sure you get the right guys on the field. Make sure you get the, you do
Make
whatever.
sure everyone
right.
knows what play is called and which way
Right.
they're supposed to go. I mean, you don't get it here. You pooch kick it down there. I mean, if you force Wheat Ridge to go 70, 80, 90 yards in less than 2 minutes with no timeouts, I'll take my chances.
Right, absolutely. Absolutely. With the kind of defense Arvada West is, absolutely. I mean, right now, I'm not even sure you go for a long pass play. I think you just probably run the football with Mike Orr and then, like you said, pooch it down hopefully somewhere inside the 10-yard line.
Or if you have a pass play called, I think you make sure the quarterback knows, hey, you know what, if it's not there, just throw the thing away. We don't want to make a critical mistake. 3rd and 10, ball at the 42. Wyatt under center. Zaraga threatening the blitz. Wyatt drops back, looks to his right, throws out to the right side, and it's almost intercepted by Chris Wolf. Oh my goodness, what a disastrous play that would have been.
And Chris Wolf is absolutely beside himself. That ball hit him in the hands, tipped off, almost grabbed it a second time. And boy, that is difference of probably about 30 or 40 yards there, because if Wolf intercepts that pass, he probably returns it for at least another 10 yards. Now Arvada West able to punt the football and probably pin Wheat Ridge inside their own 20-yard line.
Dave Wyatt, 10 of 22, 3 interceptions for 88 yards tonight, and almost a 4th interception. And Chris Wolf was one play away from, I think he might have gone for 6.
He could have.
He had a chance to take that thing a long ways. So Arvada West is going to punt, going to try to pin Wheat Ridge deep into their own territory. Richard Wathen back to receive the punt for the Farmers. Got a delay a game penalty on Arvada West, their 10th penalty of the night.
Probably just to give their punter a little bit more room to kick the football here.
Punter for Arvada West is Joe DeTiro. I would expect Wheat Ridge to bring the house here. They don't, and DeTiro gets off a fair kick. That's going to be out of bounds at about the 19. No, actually it's going to go out of bounds at about the 22-yard line. Still, Wheat Ridge is forced to go 78 yards, and we've got less than 2 minutes remaining. Actually, a minute 33 on the clock, so 93 seconds stands between Arvada West and its 2nd win of the season, but the defense is going to have to make a couple plays.
Absolutely, and you got no timeouts left. You can't stop the clock. You have to pass the football. That's all there is to it.
You're 1 of 8, 2 interceptions, and 7 yards on the night passing the football. Actually, 3 interceptions. So things not looking good for the 3rd-ranked Wheat Ridge Farmers out of Class 4A.
Not the strength of their offense by any means.
Adam Ariano under center. He has come in here late in the 4th quarter. I guess Lee Coon's feeling he needs his number 1 quarterback in there. Ariano fumbles a snap. Let's see who got on top of it. John Flores says Arvada West has recovered. No signal yet from the guys in the stripes.
There was a penalty marker down also on the field, Eric.
Ariano limping very bad on that bad hamstring. I think you got to go with Peterson at this point. Tyler Peterson's been your guy the whole game. To bring Ariano in this kind of situation, that's tough duty for a kid who's been suffering from a bad hamstring, and here comes Peterson in the game right now.
Yeah, and penalty is on Wheat Ridge, so it backs him up 5 yards.
Now, will Arvada West decline the penalty? Can they decline the penalty? Ariano back in the ball game now, so we have both quarterbacks in the game.
So far, none of the officials have picked up the flag. Okay, now our referee's going to make the call.
Illegal participation, Wheat Ridge.
Illegal participation on the Farmers. That's a 10-yard penalty. And that's a big penalty.
That is a big penalty. Now you're forced to go 88 yards, or more realistically, probably about 68 yards to get yourself in field goal range.
3 infractions, 25 yards for the Farmers. So it brings up 1st down and call it 20 for the Wheat Ridge Farmers. To say they are in a hole is an understatement. Ball at about their own 11-yard line. Arvada West threatening blitz. Taylor Peterson throws a pass, and it's intercepted by John Flora. He is tackled at the 10. There's a fumble. Arvada West comes up with it, and the Wildcat defense, the Purple People Eaters, coming up with big play after big play here in the late stages of this football game.
What made that happen was the defensive line was in so fast on Adam Ariano, he had to get rid of that ball before he wanted to. His receiver didn't even know the pass was coming until it was in the hands of Flora. And that's just been the story all night for that Arvada West defense. When it comes to passing the football, Wheat has just had no time to set up and do anything back there.
I'll tell you what, though, Tom Plummer was open. He had a step. The timing on the play was just right. As you said, though, Arvada West defense forced the play to happen a little sooner than they would have liked, but Plummer had a step. 1st and 10 for the Wildcats. Ball just outside the Wheat Ridge 10. Minute 9 remaining, no timeouts. I'm assuming Wyatt's just going to kneel on this puppy and Dave Logan's going to walk out of here with a victory. That is exactly what Wyatt does. Tell you what, some strange plays tonight, some strange calls. Coaches throwing the ball deep in their own territory and going for chances when you had a 1-point lead out near about midfield. Some interesting calls in this football game, and some chances for some big plays really to be made.
Absolutely. It was a game that was won, not conventionally. It was just sort of, a couple of guys who made some big individual plays here and there, and sometimes that's enough to get it done.
Most notably Luke Vanola and Matt Sims. They are the men of the hour on this homecoming night for the Arvada West Wildcats.
So Arvada West will walk away with their 2nd victory of the year, and a tough-fought victory, no doubt, and I think one that they're going to look at as an indication of how the rest of their Jeffco schedule is going to be, a very competitive Jeffco schedule, and if they took this team lightly, I think it's going to give them the wake-up call to make sure that they don't take anyone else.
And time has expired. The final 14-13. What a hard-fought win for Dave Logan and his Arvada West Wildcats. A gutsy effort as they do it without a number of their key players, Mike Duran, Chris Chavez, and Drew Cisneros. Still don't take anything away from the visiting Wheat Ridge Farmers. They gave a gutsy effort too, proving that their ranking 3rd in Class 4A is very well deserving. Again, our final 14-13. Arvada West improves to 2-1. Next week they take on the Chatfield Chargers. That game is here at Jeffco. For Matt Monahan, I'm Eric Christensen saying good night. The final score, Arvada West wins it 14-13.